welcome to Binance Live. This is your host, Diana. This is our great honor to have Anndy Lian as our honorable guest today. Hello, Andy. Hello, hello.
Hey, hi, Diana.
How are you? How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm based in Singapore, hot and sunny today. So nice having you and meeting you online.
Yeah, so it's 7 p.m. for me now. I'm in Los Angeles. So it's nice to have you from Singapore. So how's recently? How's 2049? How's your new book?
I think so far the book is good. Everything is going well. Putting the book to the Singapore distributor, and it has been selling well on Amazon as well. So everything is good. We just finished a very hectic week in Singapore. We have token 2049 followed by F1. So to be real honest, every one of us are fairly tired, including myself. But nevertheless, I still like to share the content of my new book to everyone. And taking the chance to meet you, in person, online, would be a fabulous start, for the month of October.
Yes, this is so good. So I personally really like your book. I've already looked through for the topics, and I think the first topic is really what I think is very necessary for right now for people to learn about. It starts from what is the definition of Web3, Web2, and Web1. So what's the difference? How about this revolution? And just to let you guys know again, Anndy Lian is the author of NFT from Zero to Hero, which is on Amazon right now. You can buy it there. And also he is a KOL on Twitter. You can just search Anndy Lian and you can find him. He has very good thoughtful ideas, which is very valuable content. So would you like to give us a brief intro about from Web 1 to Web 3? Like, what do you think? What are those, and what the difference, and how's this revolution will direct us to?
Sure. I think without going into just the definition, I'll just quote a very simple example. What we experience right now with with what you see on social media, for example. These are all Web2 samples, examples. It's a very straightforward economy. The financial model is also very similar. It's all being controlled by a centralized party. Whereas Web3 will be slightly different. Most of these are decentralized. It's very much a creator friendly, and you being a creator, you are being empowered a lot more than what you have on Web2. I think this is the most important thing that people got to understand. So if you are a Web3 creator, you create your own content, you own your own content, you build your own community, you spend your own advertising budget most of the time. And this is how it's going to work. It's going to be fair. If you work hard, you get better results, you get better money, you get better outcome. So this is how I define Web3. But as of now, I didn't like the word what 2.5, web or this term, because I totally only hear it from my Chinese friends. But what they are saying is that now we are in between Web 2 and Web 3. Perhaps that's the reason. But I think that term itself is very confusing, because it become a very hybrid term, and people might think that, we are really in 2.5 because we are in between centralized and decentralized model. I don't think that it's going to be too good, but going for the vision for 3.0, Web 3.0, I think it's the ultimate goal that we are all trying to achieve.
Yeah. So how do you think it will feel like to be a Web3 owner, like the difference from a Web2 owner? Because from my perspective, I think Web 1 is like only the platform can show you what they want you to read, and Web 2 is like you can create your own content. Like everyone can become a content creator, but there's still the platform is centralized. Let's say if they think you are breaking some rules of the platform, or if you are anti-government or anything, like they can just shut down your or lock your, like what I'm not a fan of Donald Trump, but just like what they did to Donald Trump, right? So how does it feel like to be a Web3? Is it like a real freedom of speaking?
No, it's a very big misconception. If today your website, for example, is like a social media platform on Web3, some people will say that, they can't take you down. That's not true. because in a Web3 economy, there are also their rules and regulations, you know, and when there are rules and regulations, there are still possibility that your content can be taken down. It might not be political, but it could be, you could be posting something that's more explicit, pornographic, for example. There are ways that it can be brought down. So I think that is a very big misconception about Web 2 going to Web 3, where you are totally unblocked, you are totally free. It's just like, maybe I just quote another example. It's just like a decentralized wallet, right? They may think that, oh, nobody's going to catch me and so forth. But the thing is, in real life, governments in regulated regions, they keep track of the centralized exchanges wallets, individual wallets, and all the transactions. They are also taking track of the decentralized wallets. What are the transactions? What are the patterns? And so forth. They can block certain contracts. So it's not totally decentralized from the world. So I still want to mention that I think Web3 is still very friendly for creators. You can do a lot more. You can have a lot more control, but it's not necessarily freedom. It's not necessarily free and freedom to do anything.
And did you like to fix your earphone a little bit? Maybe try to don't use it. I think it's yeah,
Okay, was it bad?
yeah, it's like much better like now.
Okay,
So
sorry about that.
it's okay. So you just told us that you hear my echo.
Yeah, but it's normal because both of us are on.
Oh yeah. How about yeah?
No, I don't hear your echo.
Oh, it's good now. Yeah. So, you just told us that it's a misunderstanding that if it comes to Web3, you are totally free speaking. Like people, you will still be like be shut down if you're talking something like not good or scary things send it to people. So how about we think like uh, how does Web3 benefit people, benefit the Web3 content creators?
I think from a very simple term, for Web 3, for example, it's like now you have students. I always take this example because I spend a lot of time to volunteer and so forth. So students who wants a tuition fee, for example, they want to be a creator, right? They can create an NFT anytime if they are creative, right? And what they can do is after they do some nice drawings, and so forth, they can list it on maybe on Binance NFT marketplace. If they are reputable enough, they do enough, social media and so forth, and then that can empower them to have a fair bit of leeway to earn their tuition fee.
Oh yeah.
Right. Correct. So it become an empowerment thing for the student. So if you are Web 3, there are more chances that you can have more streams of income. You can create a profession. Like like streamers in Web 2, for example. They most of the time they create the content for the company. You know, but if you are in Web 3, you are actually creating the content for yourself and your community.
Yes.
And there are many ways in Web 3 where you can have the full monetization model, kept to yourself. So an advertiser might be giving to a platform $1,000, but you may end up only getting 500. But in a Web 3 environment, because you create the content, you own the content, you are sort of the boss for yourself. You are getting the full $1,000, right?
Yeah.
And then out of that $1,000, you can give away $200 to your fans, and that gives you more fans, right? So, you hold the P&L, you hold the content, and that's what most of my friends want, like some of the gamers, this is what they want,
Yeah. So I'm also thinking that as a let's take musicians as an example, because I've used to like talk with many musicians, and they told me that their songs on many music platforms. However, they didn't get like enough, like everything, like the profit from their music. Like the platform has analyzed, and the platform just they don't let the musician to know, and they just take advantage from the musician. I think with the Web3 tools, the musicians can earn everything they should earn, right? If they make their music into an NFT. I do have one more, like, but who will take care of the platform? So will it be in a DAO version, like because there must be the tools, like the music tools, the audio player. So who will take care of the platform, the tools?
I think it works multiple ways. So way number one is that you have a platform, right? You have a platform. Is on Web3. You have your users. So the revenue stream will be very much divided. So you look at it as you as a streamer, Diana. You go to the platform, right? You accept advertiser, right? So the advertiser gives you 1,000. You keep the 1,000. Then you might be thinking, then what is the platform getting? Number one, they can be getting a transaction fee out from the $1,000 that you accept, right? So maybe they get a 3%, transaction fee,
Yes.
Or what they can do is that they can run their own ads program, right? They can run their own advertising program for the platform only, right? And they keep the advertising part, right? So he might be getting 2,000 from Nike, and then you might be getting 2,000 more from a Foot Locker, for example. That's how it's going to work. Everything is separated. They maintain the platform. You do your bit to bring in the traffic. It's win-win for everybody. Yeah, sorry.
No, I just kind of feel like it's similar with the medical system in the US, in China. So in China, it's like a doctor work for a hospital. So you go to the hospital, and the hospital tell you which doctor you will have, right? But in the US, it's like a doctor can cooperate with different kind of hospitals, different hospitals. So it's like you need to pay the doctor and pay the hospital for the equipment, pay the doctor for the treatment. Is it like this?
It is like this, actually. I mean, in the medical practice, I used to be investing in healthcare, right? So I own surgery centers, radiology center. Different doctors can come in to use the surgery so there's the surgery center. So it's very similar to what you have mentioned. You do your part, you take your cut. So it's very straightforward thing, man. So but empowerment is a lot larger, than what we see right now. Because if you are talking about Web3 and so forth, you also need to take care of many other things. Like you need to take care of your community. You need to really take care of your team. It's all on you right now, because the P&L falls on you. And you are working for yourself.
Yes.
So I think the music example is something that is really dear to my heart. In fact, tonight I'm actually speaking to Mellows. So they are like a music content a platform that is invested by Binance Lab as well. Correct. So I'll be speaking about music, about CCO content tonight, and I think there are a lot of different issues and different copyright issues that we have to really look into. When we talk about music, it's no longer like the idol or the artist from the past. They can get very good royalties every month, 30 years down the road and so forth. But once you step into Web3, the context might change. The amount of money that you get back, might be lesser, but then as an artist, you have more fulfillment, because you are not tied to any music record publisher and so forth. You have many different leeways to create your own content, and that is a very big attraction for many indie musicians. So again, Web3 is going to bring different music into the into the market.
Yes, so I think so as well. And Web3 might music platforms might give like new musicians, like those young musicians who's not well known right now, but give them more opportunity since it's more fair. Yeah, like they don't need to compete within an agency, a company. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, they can directly contact with the community, like people who support the music. Yeah. So how about let's go to chapter 2, like an overview of the NFT industry. So would you like to give us a brief intro about what current participants in the NFT market, which I think many people are interested in this topic?
I think the current NFT market, to be real honest, is going on a very quiet side of things, But if you look at the whole market, I think the direction is very clear that NFT gaming is going to be one of the big thing that is going to be in the market,
Yes.
And then music and content is book content, for example, is also something that is very easily attained, So right now you see a lot of musicians, stepping into the scene, NFT scene. You see, like book author like myself, making into NFT book. These are very low hanging fruit. Do not need too much of a technology, but you still can make use of the NFT term, and promote it and do what you need to do with NFT, But coming back to the first point that I've mentioned, I think gaming is something that is really big because the adoption, and the pool of players behind the NFTs as a gaming asset and so forth is really huge. So if people are looking forward to some trends, if people are looking forward to look at, where else you can put your money at, or what kind of NFT you should buy, you should definitely look at some of the gaming ones because there's an in-game need for the NFT.
More
There's also
utility.
correct, and then the in-game one is very high frequency kind of a trading, because you need to use it, but there's also a speculative part to the equipment, maybe you have a sword that has more power, there's a big speculation to that, right? And then if it's a limited edition, it's a lot better. So it's very fun. There's a good utility and there's a good speculation. It makes a perfect scenario, for NFT. Unlike many of these PFP images that you see in the market, it's just a nice image, right? There is no usage. They are only purely speculation at times, right? And the speculation, there's no real value behind it, so it's really difficult to do that.
Yeah.
So I still think that gaming is one of the NFT utility that I think we should all look at. Many other things that NFT can do. It can become a title deed, a land title deed. It can become a ticketing. It can become a collectible. So I think the list goes on. But for today's context, I think gaming, books, music, I think these are all really, really easy to attain things, and people can relate it very well,
Yes. I kind of feel like utility is one of the most important thing of an NFT when we want to choose which one will have a brighter future. But also, I because I haven't playing NFT game like GameFi games, metaverse games for a while. So I kind of wonder, are there really composabilities right now for game NFTs? Because I know there was a period when loot is very well known, and I saw this in your case studies. So I think loot is, I think is a paradigm revolution because it is the composability of an NFT is the first time that we thought an NFT can be used in different kind of games, right? So it can be like transferred through games. So I wonder right now, like after a year has passed, is it really like we have the composability of NFTs in GameFi, or is it like only we can still use the NFT inside one game? We cannot take it out and use it in another game.
I think the ability to transfer is there, that's for sure. But if you are talking about the GameFi environment per se, I think the biggest issue is most of these blockchain games are not very playable.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So the problem is with the game, the fi part is totally good, man. You do this and then you get that kind of returns and so forth. I think that part is totally good, but the games are actually the big problem. many of these AAA games, for example, they the gameplays are a lot better than some of these blockchain games that you see.
Yeah.
So I still think that in the space we should really work harder on the game. Once the game is good, I believe the tokenomics will kick in and you will grow really big. So I think that's something that is really falling behind. It's not so much of whether it's technology wise, the ability to transfer, ability to work on multiple chain is a given. It all can be done. But the thing is, if you don't have a good game, all these assets that you have created are not assets. So that's a very real issue that is happening in the space right now.
Yeah. I feel like according to my experience in the industry, I think the best Web3 social app might not be created by someone who's been original, like at the beginning is from the blockchain industry, but might from someone who used to create lots of successful or have experience in creating social apps. And I feel the same in GameFi. I think those who will create a very fascinating game, a metaverse game, it should be someone who has been in the game industry for a long, long while, instead of someone who in the blockchain. I mean, they might have good idea, but they might not know how game should be created, how gamer community would like. That's my personal perspective.
No, that's very true because I always use the word unity, right? So everyone got to come together and agree on something. So the game producer or the gaming studio, they will work on the game, and then they must listen to some of these crypto gaming studio to see how the tokenomics can be adopted onto the game, So and what kind of things that will drive traffic and drive players to go, because the AAA games guys, experienced guys, they can create the best graphics, they can create the best gameplays. But then if they do not have the good tokenomics, it's just going to be a very wasteful or less useful scenario. So I always think that the collaboration should be there, and the core aim of most of what we are doing is also to convert traditional gamers into the blockchain or crypto space. So no matter what, there is a need for everyone to work together, and that should be the case.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, and really hope like one day or maybe I think our industry is growing pretty fast. So maybe in the next 2023, 2023, we can see like a real AAA game in the metaverse, like a good combination with some real composability of NFTs. And thank you for your answer about the question about this, who are the main users and who are the most active group in this NFT area right now. So next question, would you like to tell us something about, which is also from your chapter 2 in your book, which is introduction of DEX and sex NFT marketplace, because like I only have tried the centralized NFT marketplace. I've never tried any like decentralized NFT marketplace. I don't know if it is like smooth enough, or are there pros and cons in both?
Sure. I think it depends on let's say you are a creator. Let's say we just take myself as an example. If I am just alone, and I don't have a team, what I personally felt that the centralized exchanges will be a very good fit, because centralized exchanges, all you need to do is to make sure that your project is good, and centralized exchanges will support you with marketing, will support you with the community, will support you with whatever it takes if they think that you are good, right? Mm-hmm. So and it's a one-stop shop. So if you are a creator, you are a student, you want to write a nice book, find a nice centralized exchange, sell it there. That is number one, the fastest way to get yourself into the space.
Mm-hmm.
That's from a user perspective, right? and a user perspective on a centralized exchange. But for decentralized exchange, yes, like OpenSea, for example, is still the largest NFT marketplace and the most talked about. But but you look at it this way: centralized exchanges, the better ones, they actually do a lot of screening, right? So if they screen you, they think that you're good, they will list you, right? There's no copyright issues and so forth. But if you go to a decentralized one, actually literally anyone can list their projects there. But the biggest problem are two. One is they will not market for you, right? You might be listing there for 2 years, 3 years, no one is going to buy it, and you are still going to be there. And then the second part is you need to know how the decentralized wallets, how they function, how you use the decentralized wallet, how you connect to it, and how you create the NFT. So ultimately, for users who are new, and you think that you have a very good product, NFT product, try a centralized exchange. Centralized exchange can allow you and give you more perks right from the start. And if you're a beginner, it's going to be a win-win for everybody. You bring all your student friends along, the centralized exchange get new users. That's how it is. So I still think that the for beginner, centralized exchange has a very, very good leeway, for people to just easily come on board. If you want to create a book, you don't know how to do it, they can teach you how to do it. But if you go to OpenSea, no one is going to teach you what to do. So that's what I think.
So I feel like if you're a beginner, it's pretty easy to get your hand on, starting from a centralized exchange, and then after on, if you really want to dig into the rabbit hole, you want to be, and there's the decentralized exchange as of NFT marketplace as an option for you to dig into the rabbit hole, right?
True.
Yeah. So, thank you. And for more, if you're more interested in Chapter 2 with what are NFT standards and what are the different types of NFTs, you may read the book by yourself. And what are the necessary tools available, which is the Chapter 3. And people are, there will be trading platforms, rarity types, analytic tools, volume and price, key indicators, and browser extensions. And with all the tools that are necessary for NFT, and you will learn from Chapter 3. I personally kind of wonder, like, what are NFT standards in your mind? Can you give us like some thought?
So the different NFT standards, are the 721s and so forth. But I think again to be very honest about this is that most users or most end users, they do not really care or notice, what are the different standards. From a creator standpoint, it depends on what exactly you want. Are you looking at something that is limited supply, or you are looking at something that is more like a fungible token? It really depends on what you want. But putting this simple, from a layman perspective, when you buy it, most people will not really look at what is the standard. In fact, friends who like some of these NFTs, they do not even care whether they are from ERC 20 or is it from a BNB chain, for example. They do not care, because ultimately, if you buy this from a centralized exchange, all these assets are actually on that exchange, and most people do not really need it, unless you're playing it for a game. Then and you are going to be like a tech geek, you will talk about the different standardization and so forth. But trust me, most people will not go into the standardization details, even for people that are in the crypto space, because we are all trying to keep it easy, And then just now you mentioned about the Chapter 3 about the different tools and so forth. I think on a user perspective, they are more concerned about what are some of the tools that we have to assess whether the NFT is good or not, right? And then all these platforms have different kinds of way to look at data. I just give you an example. If you're looking at Namsen, for example, they have very useful data that goes in a very detailed manner. Most normal users may not use most of what is on the platform, to be real honest, right? And then if you go to different platforms again, like Crypto Slam, for example, they look into the various top NFTs, and they give you like a ranking. They tell you about the 24-hour volume. These are all more straightforward. Some people want to buy the NFT. They look at the volume. They look at the liquidity. At one glance, you can have it all. Or you subscribe to people like maybe footprint analytics, for example. All this analytics platform has a certain purpose, and it depends on how sophisticated you are as a user. So if you are looking at very deep content, you want to analyze more data, Namsen is definitely one of the key ones that you should really look at. And then, but if you want to just look at the rarity of a certain NFT project, you can go to Rarity Tools. You can know exactly, what NFT you should aim for, what NFT you should buy, in the secondary market. Because if you don't have all this information, you do not know what you're buying. Some people say, "Oh, I got this NFT. Oh, it looks good," but then, they might have minted 1 million of them. So there is no secondary market, and there is no real value to support that 1 million NFTs. So again, the tools are something that is very, very personal. Those that I have put forth are things that I've tested out myself. And I think that okay, those are really cool. And when we talk about the tools and so forth, actually many of them you need to you pay a subscription. So again, it becomes your comfort level, how much you want to pay, what kind of information you want to see, so forth and so on. So again, I hope people who bought the book, they can look through some of the examples that I've quoted in terms of the tools. Try them. There are some free trials and so forth. Try them before you decide to make any purchases, because the longest time that I spend is not just writing the book. It's about looking through and testing some of these tools, because some of them are not. They look really good, but they are not user friendly. So those that I've listed so far, I think personally they are useful in their own manner, and it is also very simple to use for some. So I hope that the viewers on this channel right now can seriously look at some of these tools, and it will definitely give you a better and more informed decision when you make your NFT purchase.
I totally agree with you. And again, I just want to mention to all our audience, there must be risks in the world. We're not living in a risk-free world. So what we need to do is control the risk. And again, before you subscribe any tool, make sure you test it and try it and make your decision that you would like to subscribe it or not. And thank you for your introduction about all the tools. The brief introduction. And if you want to dig into this rabbit hole, I'm pretty sure this guidance will help you. So our next chapter is how to spot a good NFT project. I think this is the topic that all our audience are most interested in. So would you like to give us some thought about how to spot a good NFT project from your point of view?
I think spotting a good NFT project is not that difficult. Number one, right now the market is bad. You have to really look at the price point, right? Mm-hmm. So first thing is the price point, whether you can afford it or not. If the NFT project is great, fantastic, you can't afford it, you need to borrow money, don't do it. All right. Mm-hmm. First of all, price point must be correct. Then you might be thinking, so after price, what should we really look at, right? I personally will look at a few things. Number one is the community. Yeah. That is a very big indicator, of how well and how successful the project is. Look at the community. Some of this project, the community is not big, and if you have the ability to buy it, and if you like the design of the NFT, you can actually be the promoter of it, and that's the cool part about Web3 and about NFTs, right? It's not about the creator promoting it, it's about the community promoting it. So if you see a lot of paid advertisement, paid shilling by the creator, there's nothing good about it. If you are a true believer for NFT, you like the design, you can afford it, you should market it.
Yes.
You buy 3 of them, sell away 1. That is one of the key thing I tell my community. I say, if you like this, buy 5 of it. You can afford within your affordable range. Buy 5 of them, sell 1 of them. Give yourself a goal. And then you can, if the community is of this kind of mentality, then I think the success rate for the NFT project is very high. Then this is one of the traits that you see a successful NFT project is all about. So this is the second thing, community. Third thing is they have to self-market. Very, very motivated community members are the key, right? And then thirdly would be the team members, But again, a lot of these team members right now are just hiding behind a profile picture,
Yeah.
So to be real honest, I still felt that the point number 2 is stronger than point number 3, because the creators can just be a nice artist, but they might not be a good promoter. So again, I think these are the 2 and 3 things that you have to take note of. And then last but not least, I think the chapter 2 works hand in hand with chapter 3, because in order to assess whether the project is good or not, NFT is well received or not, you have to look at the metrics. So if you subscribe to a certain paid platform or even a non-paid platform, you use the numbers that are shown there as a guide. And that's how you spot a very good NFT project. If they have the volume, and they have the community, and then you have motivated community members that are always pushing, it become a very simple model and formula for a successful NFT project. And we have seen a lot of them, whether it's on the Ethereum network or whether it's on the BNB network, the community is the key driving force behind all these purchases, behind all the marketing, and behind the blood and soul of all the projects that they are standing for. So this is how I look at it. In a very short reply.
Yeah, I think it's one of the most important thing is if you think really like and want to support. So first is you need to be able to afford this NFT, never borrow money buying it. So that's a big no. And don't risk the money you cannot lose. Okay, you cannot afford losing. And another is like if you really think this NFT is very useful, utility, very good, you yourself wants to self market it, self promote it, that you look at the community. If everyone in the community, they are self-promoting, and no need, they have like the incentive of doing that instead of the project itself, the project owners, they are doing the showing, so that would be better, right?
True. That's what I think, of course. And of course, apart from all these things, people will tell me about utility, about the technology and so forth. I think at this current time, bad times, I think that is very secondary, because the technology itself is almost everybody is the same,
Yeah.
Nothing to shout about. Utility wise,
people can think about similar utilities.
Yeah, it's all the same, So it's the community members that is the secret sauce.
Yes, community members is the secret sauce. This is a very good point. Thank you, Andy, for your answer. I think that's very useful. And our next chapter is how to make an NFT. So in this chapter, you will know the quick guide of mint your NFT and the advantages and disadvantages of different platforms. Would you like to give us something you want to talk about this, or do you want to go through to the next one?
I can go through a very quick one. Creating NFTs are not really that difficult, to be honest. You can use very simple platforms like Canva, for example. You just create the different layers. It's free. Then you generate them and group them together. If it's a simple PFP, for example. So there is actually no real need to hire an NFT artist just to do the NFT. There are a lot of free tools online that you can use. Again, Canva, I'm not promoting them, but it's one of the good tools that everyone should really look at. And there are generators and compilers that are all free. All you need to do is to think of a good idea, create it. If you create it's a simple PFP to start with, you can always list them on OpenSea, for example. It's almost free, and it's very straightforward. Whatever project it is, whatever PFP it is, you can just list them, So I think the very simple reply is of such, I'm not going to, which chain you're going to mint on, what kind of fees you are paying and so forth. Just go for the simplest way, simple design, go for OpenSea, for example. Just upload and test it, man. Maybe you have people who really like your unique designs, So that should be the case.
I kind of wonder, so you don't need to be an artist, and are there market? Will there people buy if you just use Canva to create your NFT? Have you ever tried like selling your own?
I think they are. I think they are. In fact, my guys are building NFT PFPs, for example. I can't reveal the name right now, but it's kind of cute. I will send it to you when it's reviewed.
Sure.
It's actually very easy to do. It's very easy to do, easy to generate. All you need to do is to have a strong team, strong concept. That's all you could do. We have friends who come out with just a few circles, just a few circles, a few squares, and so forth. If you make the graphic looks nice, you sell it at a low price, people will come to you. I just give you an example. If you're going to make some really nice wallpaper on Canva, for example, you don't mint it on ETH, right?
Yeah. I think
the price is high. True, the price is high, right? So, and if you're going to sell $1 and then the transaction fee is $30, is still on a very high side, right? So what I suggest, and in fact I wrote an article on pricing, how you should price your NFTs and what you should do and so forth. I think price it lower. You could price it $1. You sell 50,000 pieces of that wallpaper. Okay, $1, 50,000, you get 50,000 back, right? And if you're going to mint it on like a BNB chain, for example, on a Polygon, for example, the fees are low, right? So your cost could be $1.50, and you get a nice wallpaper. Would you buy it? I think it's okay for $1.50, man. But if you ask me, hey, bro, you want to buy my wallpaper at $1 ETH, I say, God bless you. I'm not going to buy it from you. But if it's $1.50, it's okay. And you still make your money. Maybe not as much as you want, but $50,000, I think, is very cool. Again, from a student perspective, it's quite cool. All right, so I think there is a market, to be honest. It's the price.
Yeah, I think this is a very good point of view that instead of making one piece of NFT and it's $50,000, it would be better to sell with 50,000 pieces and with $1, and to choose a good chain and affordable chain is a good thing for us as well, since we're not like celebrities or we're not like superstars. So it would be rather to choose like more copies of NFT instead of a higher price of a exclusive NFT. And especially in this market, so people might buy for fun. Actually, I've seen. I don't know if you know that man. He's from Africa. I think he's quite famous for doing this gesture, like
yes.
Yes. I think he has his own NFT as well, and people just buy it. I think also there's a guy who has taken some funny selfies, and people like a lot. It's a collection. I think this is Africa as well, and people just buy it for fun. Yeah, I think why not try? Yeah, there's people out there in the world that you don't know what they're thinking about. Yeah. So thank you for your answer. So I think what we should do is to keep us mind open, and so that we will have more opportunities, and who knows what will happen. And our next chapter is chapter 6, case studies. I personally really like that all the cases you include. I like it. The OpenSea is very famous, right? And Bored Ape, very famous, and looks rare. Yeah, so many of my friends they told me that looks rare is something you need to pay attention to. I think it was since last year. And Loot, I personally have some Loot, and Steppen. And Steppen is, I think, is something to tell about as well. We also have Proof Collection and Moonbird, and your own thoughts. So, anything you want to add to chapter 6 to our audience?
I think those case studies that I've added, most of us can relate to it, right? But I want to maybe share another 2 case studies that is not in the book right now. Number one is I think NBA Top Shots are amazing. Backed by good investors. Like people like Michael Jordan, KD, and so forth. I think they have their own marketing niche, and they are creating a good fan base. For NBA Top Shots. So this is one thing that that I didn't write on it, but I think it is something really good for basketball fans to really look at it. And the same model, can be put forth to many different industries. It could be, or maybe into the soccer space, for example. It can be in maybe in a celebrity space, example, because how they do it is really amazing. How they open the mystery boxes is also amazing. How they do the marketing is also amazing. But those guys are very much traditional guys. Unlike people from Loot, Moonbird, and so forth, they're all the crypto guys. So that's why I think I should mention about NBA Top Shots. Doing well, millions and millions have been recorded, as part of their revenue. They work with really big brands as well, big IPs, like LeBron James and so forth. So this is one thing that I didn't write, and I hope people can also take a read at how they do their marketing, how they reach out to existing fans, and so forth. That's one. Second thing that I want to mention is about meme tokens, meme coins and so forth. It can be a Shiba and so forth. It can be a Dodge and so forth. I think those kind of NFTs, is actually something that is very fun. You have a token, and you can create another NFTs to facilitate the whole process. Because, for example, Shiba Inu, for example, they have big community. They can create franchises, coffee chain franchises. They can use they can use their community members to do many different things. If you use the franchise as an example, they sell coffee. They can use a royalty NFT card, as a way to collect points and get their free Shiba coffee, for example. So I still think that the meme power is underrated and underused. So I hope big meme companies can or projects can really look at creating franchises or creating real meetup places so that their members can be there, and it can be a real business to supplement what you have in the crypto space, and that's something that is really lacking, because again, using Shiba as an example, it can be a royalty card, it can be selling merchandise, it could be selling many things, through the good brand and through NFTs. And this is something that is really missing in the space right now. And there's a big opportunity.
I think it's similar like the first time when I get to Bitcoin was back to the end of 2017, early 2018. I thought Bitcoin is the king because after the not the fail, but after the crash of the ICO, I realized that Bitcoin is the king. But until I see Dodge raise a lot, I suddenly realized that, yeah, meme, there's many people supporting meme. They might not be able to buy Bitcoin after the industry is already like crowded people, like people, it's already at a pretty high price. But instead, people try to buy Doge for fun. And so that's why we have meme today. The meme community is like, it's many people. Yeah, it's big. It's like if you want to create a luxury brand, only sell to a smaller group of people, or if you want to create Shein. So actually, I don't know if you know, there's a brand called Shein, Shein. It's like
Yes.
a very cheap website, and however, if you look at the Forbes, like they earn a lot. So they look to they look to, if there's the triangle, like the pyramid, they look for the middle of the people, which is the huge amount, instead of the top small amount of the top.
True.
Yeah.
True.
And I think that is smart as well, to look at the memes, to see how strong the community are, instead of look at just only pay attention to those top kings.
Correct. I agree with you, Diana. But I also want to add on that, not all meme coins are Shiba. Not all meme coins are Doge, because I realize that there are a lot of meme coins who are very manipulative. There are meme coins that are not that fun. It's all about money. It's all about shilling. And to be real honest, meme coins, some of them are just very badly organized. So I think people got to select the right meme coins, those that have good backing, good community. The leader's face is not there, is fine, but at the very least, they are still talking. They have not disappeared. I think there's a lot of potential for meme coins to grow. To be honest, it can be on a BNB chain. It can even be on an XRP chain. So there are many opportunities out there, right now.
Yes. So I need to mention, before you do any decision, or if you want to do any purchase, you need to pay attention to risk. We are not in a risk-free world, so there's risk everywhere. So you need to pay attention. Do you really want to support? Do you want to make your decision? Like you need to think a lot and do a lot of research before you do any investment. And yes. So to our next chapter, do you want to talk about predictions for the future of art NFTs? I personally am interested in this chapter because predictions, who doesn't like it? And art NFT is, I think, is only one part of NFT in a whole, one category in the whole NFTs, because we have music NFTs, we have meme NFTs, and art NFT. Is it considered fine art?
Sure. I think, again, when we talk about art, it can be in many different forms. It can be a fine art, it can be a normal meme art, and so forth. But whatever art it is, as long as there's a demand, and you can provide a good artwork, I think there will be people buying it, right? So it's more about the demand. So when I talk about artwork, it's because I have given consultancy to some of the largest art auction houses in the world. I do think that art pieces in the past is only for those that are very rich. They are willing to pay $10 million for a famous art piece, for example. But right now there's a very different trend that is going on. Art auction houses, for example, is looking at how to fractionalize the art pieces. How to have multiple owner of it. How they can actually be a custodian of the artwork, and how they can be the manager of the artwork in a metaverse environment, and giving rights to all the different owner that is that has bought parts of the artwork. You might not have the physical artwork with you, but you can still proudly say that you own a piece of the art. you know. So the art scene is changing. You know, people are trying to embrace crypto or tokenized products, you know. So that's the reason why I felt that, you know, there is a new future for NFT artwork in this space, you know. And especially so, we are not talking about the traditional art pieces, but the more contemporary ones. There's a huge market for it, you know. You might not want to buy a piece of artwork that looks nice and is costing $200,000, but because if you think that it's nice, you know, you don't mind having a digital version of it, you know, you can put it on a big screen, for example, that is only going to cost you $1,000, and then you still own part of this, and you can still display it at your home. Why not? You know. So I think people are changing, you know, how art is being perceived. You know, how you're going to show your wealth. You know, how you're going to show your taste of art. Many of this has become digital. You know, so you know, it's just a different way to look at how artwork is, and how fractionalized ownership, you know, is changing the space. It's really changing it, because the freedom and the independence from the artist, and how you own a piece of a very expensive artwork in a different manner is really out of the world. You know, most collectors will not think of it in that manner, you know, until today, to be honest. So that's the reason why I have a very nice chapter 7 on predictions on art NFT, because it's changing how the marketplace is like. It's also changing how the creators are thinking, how they can sell their artwork, you know. So NFT changed a lot of things, actually.
Yes. So I think too about art NFTs predictors, we need to understand the incentive, why people behind, why they want to buy art. Maybe if they want to show their wealth. So there's other ways to use NFT to go through it. Yes, I think that makes sense. So if you want to predict the future, we always need to understand the user behavior, the buyer behavior, the behaviors, and what they thought behind the behaviors. And let's go to chapter 8. So NFT trends shaping the future of NFTs. So there's NFT gaming, GameFi, which we have already talked about, NFT ticketing. I think we have currently I've seen some NFT tickets to concerts. I think Justin Bieber has that, J. Cho has that, and we also have avatars and the PFP NFTs, which we have mentioned, NFT fragments, digital twin NFTs. I don't understand this, and AI NFTs, very interesting. Don't understand this as well. NFT streaming and community-owned entertainment. NFT and fine art. Would you like to pick maybe like few interesting points you want to talk with us?
I pick a few that is interesting. You know, number one is AI, artificial intelligence. So there are now platforms where you could just key in a few keywords. You know, you just key in apple, worm, elephant, for example. The artificial intelligence behind the platform will create a combination based on your keywords and make it into NFT. So this is how the AI NFT work.
Are
so
there
today, sorry?
Are there any tool to do that?
Yes, there are. There are multiple of them. I don't want to promote any one of them, but if you Google online, you can definitely find them. You just type AI generated images. So it's very easy, you know. But it takes some patience, because, you know, AI sometimes is fairly not that clever, you know. So you must find the right keywords to create things that looks like art, not looks like some jumble up graphic. All right, so this is number one. I think the second thing that I want to also say is about NFT and healthcare, right? So if you are in places like Canada, for example, you know, a lot of your, or even in Singapore, you know, a lot of your health records are actually kept in a decentralized manner. You know, you go to see Dr. A, you go to see Dr. B, they are all from different clinics. They do not share the same medical data, right? And then if you go to Doctor A, some people say that you have I don't know, hepatitis, for example. You go to Doctor B, you got retest again, right? Because you don't share the same database and so forth. So NFT can actually help to secure the data. NFT can also help to give access, give doctors access to your medical data. So whatever that you want to share, you can share. You can do it all via NFT, because you yourself is already a unique NFT, and all the things that you have uploaded, you verified it yourself, verified by the first doctor, can be transferred onto the blockchain, and you can only access it using your own NFT identity. So that is something that is amazing, and it's something that is very practical. So if you are in Canada, for example, I have doctor friends who say that, hey, a lot of these medical ID, they do not have any form of image. There's no way to identify you are the person. But if you are doing it on an NFT, for example, there are many ways that you can identify yourself, and that card itself is totally not transferable. You need to have to scan an NFT with the thumbprint, for example, or with an iris scan, for example. You hardly can play the system. So I think NFT and health is something that is really interesting, and it really helps with the health sector for both users and also the hospitals and the doctors as well, because NFT health can empower the patient with a lot more ability compared to the current healthcare system, to be real honest. Yeah.
I think this is very, very interesting and creative. I've never thought about like combine NFT and some daily use for like the medical. Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's very creative.
I think that's the example. Then maybe the last example about NFT finance is that, of course, I didn't really like this example, but I do see that there are a lot of people wrapping financial tools, structured products behind an NFT. Some of which can be very illegal, because it's a structured product, financial product. But I do see that there are such things that's happening. NFT product wrapped with ETF product, wrapped with a structured product. Some of them even wrap a building. Which all these things are classified as securities. But then I cannot not list them as a possible future potential, because it does have a certain potential, and it does create a certain changes, to the whole financial market, and it's just something that we should know that can do it, man. So these are the 3 examples that I want to put forth. The rest about PFPs, about avatars, I think is most people know it very well by now.
Yeah, thank you. I thank you for those creative thoughts and the insight about those categories. So the next, which is the last but not least chapter, is the insights into the future. So the first, we talk about the value of NFT 1.0 comes from transactions, and then is NFT 2.0 infrastructures is not yet fully supported, and then growth amidst doubt and the future of the NFT. I personally would like to learn more about what is the 1.0 and 2.0 of NFT, and what is the 2.0 infrastructures of NFT we are waiting for.
Okay. I think maybe in very simple words again is that a lot of these NFTs, for example, they were being created without a very clear purpose, no purpose at all. The reason is not because they don't know what's the purpose, but because infrastructurally it is also not very friendly. You just for example, if you go to a bubble tea shop, they give you all those card, right? You buy one bubble tea, they give you a stamp.
Oh yeah, like after 10 you can get a free one, right?
Correct. in theory, it's very easy to do it on an NFT, right? But the thing is, the very bad thing is, the technology is ready, but the retailer is not ready.
Oh yeah.
Correct? They don't have the hardware to look at this. They don't have the backend system to integrate into this whole NFT craze, for example. So I think these are in very simple words that infrastructurally it is not ready yet. You just imagine, if let's say they accepted the NFT, and then typically actually you can actually use the NFT to even make some payment. But again, the retailer is not ready to do it. So these are some of the very clear example that technology is ready, but the people is not ready.
Yeah.
The business is not ready. So in order for NFT to really grow, and then for us to grow out of this PFP era, PFT year, we have to see integration into the shops, into the retailers, for example. You have to see that. If that is not going to happen, then the NFT market will be stagnant. And also just give you a statistics. I think we are now in the 8 or 9 month where NFT sales are going down consecutively. We need to have a breakthrough. One is through pricing, but the other one is through the infrastructure upgrades and so forth. And I really hope to see that happening, and more NFT project to look at the implementation and execution of things instead of just creating the NFT picture. Because there's no value to it if you don't create a good use case for your NFT. That's how I look at it.
Yes, I totally agree with this, that we are looking for more retailers to get ready with what the technology can already done. And I personally have experience, which is this piece of art. If you can have a look at this, so I bought this, which is not the real paint one, but it's like so they officially copy 150 copies, and they sell this as a limited edition. And I got the first one. So they have a number on each copy, 1, 2, 3, until the 150. And this is number 1 because I was quite lucky to get into a private show, a private sale. So I got this. However, how they can tell the difference is only they have a number they draw they wrote in pencil, which people can easily erase it, and ask them, are there any like a SIM card inside or anything that can prove I am the edition 1? They say no, we cannot. So I think it's quite easy to use NFT on behind. You can still give the customer this real piece while have a NFT QR code or an NFT copy on chain at the same time. I think it's just like they haven't thought about this.
Correct. So again, is human is not ready, infrastructurally is not ready. So that's how it is. But coming back to the NFT and the future and so forth, I think the future is really bright. Apart from the games, apart from what you see in the different marketplaces, I think the future is very bright because as you can see, big brands are in. Smaller brands are also trying to come into the NFT space. I think there will be a lot of integration. As long as there are more players willing to participate, there will be more profit to be made. There will be more use cases to share. So I really look forward to seeing that happen, in the space. And again, it's non-financial advice, man.
So I think that's all chapters we have in the book, but there's much more details in the book about what we have only covered, like the topic of this. Oh yes, please show us this cover. I really like the name From Zero to Hero, and
Right.
and it's like your future asset is digital asset. And I like this book. I like what content it covered, I think it's a useful book. And if you have any questions, you may just go search Anndy Lian on Twitter and leave a comment to him. You can also search me, which is my Twitter handle is Diana_BNB. And we have a post about our show today. And if you just leave a comment about any questions related with this book, and I think you will. Oh, we will reply you. Yes. And thank you again, Anndy Lian. I have one last question for you. Do we have a NFT version of this book or a digital version of this book?
There is. You can get it on you can get it on Amazon for the ebook. The NFT book, I will also try my very best to list it on Binance as well.
Definitely.
If you got to link me up with the right people, man.
Okay, I will do.
I'll get it listed because right now it is listed somewhere else, but it's not on Binance. But I really hope to, launch my second version on Binance, and get more people to know what is NFT and how you can, after reading it, how you can be zero, grow and become a hero. This is not really difficult, and I'm also going to, share the book with some of my traditional friends, who are in the space and trying to get into the NFT space. Because to be real honest, NFT is something that is not difficult, but many people or even the consultants and so forth, they make it very difficult so that they can actually charge a higher fee, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if my friends in Singapore, if they are willing to read the book, they will understand that it is not always about money. It is about creativity, and how you can make use of the NFT technology to help your business.
Yes.
And it is 100% viable. It is not difficult. There's no need to hire 10, 20 developer or hire a good graphic designer. There's no such thing. If you have a good fan base, you can take nice picture of your food, for example.
That's very. Can we talk about
it's so simple about it, so there is no need to hire like a 20,000, 100,000, 300,000 consultant to tell you some bullshit stuff. Just read the book, look through the book, you can get some answers, and then from the answers you will find your solution, because it is that simple. There's no rocket science. There's no need to make your food move and things like that, as long as you have a big fan base. Let's say you're like Burger King or a smaller or local version of a Burger King, for example. All you need to do is to take nice picture from different angle. You serve burgers every day. Take some good pictures.
Or use that food. Yeah.
That's it, man. You can call yourself a burger meme NFT or whatever. Use that as a tool for you to reach out to more users, not necessarily selling the NFT at a high price. And that kind of mentality will give you very good surprises, and you will be a hero, man. You depend on yourself. You drive the idea. So this is the last message that I want to share with some of these friends of mine who are tuning in as well. They want to learn more. That's the reason why they want content. They want to listen to Diana. And listen to me. So I hope it's a win-win situation for everybody.
Yeah, definitely. So, personal question, last one. Have you ever earned something through like NFT? Have you maybe spotted any good NFT projects before?
Definitely. In fact, there are some that are upcoming as well. I don't want to share it because I'm not a
not
don't show project, but
Andy is very good reputation with not showing at all. So he's very good reputation with this. And I know there's some projects or exchanges coming to him, so want him to show, and he said no to everyone. So that's why I personally very like Andy and like his mentality of refuse to show. Love my reputation. Yeah. And thank you again, Andy, for joining us today. It's so good to have you. Hope to see you a lot more on Binance live show.
Yes, I will see you soon.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah. Bye-bye. Have a nice day. And if you have any questions, you can leave a comment to both either Anndy Lian or to me. You can just easily search him on Twitter, or you can search me, which is Diana_BNB. And see you again. See you in the future. Bye-bye.